Hi, my name is Arjun Ramani, and I'm the Economist Global Business and Economics correspondent. So this was the longest project I've done at The Economist. I spent nearly 2 months on it, and I really got immersed into the world of digital payments. So, I downloaded all the apps of the different companies I was using, whether they're crypto apps, fintech apps. Whenever I would get a haircut, I would ask my barber, how much they were paying in interchange fees, which company they used to process their payments. And when I was just talking with friends, I'd ask them about their experience with various banks, how they interface with the financial system, and so forth. So to an extent, it kind of consumed me. I started to see payments everywhere. And you really realize how essential payments are to people's lives, right? Every economic activity you do, you have to use some kind of payment rail. And if the system doesn't work, or you're locked out of it, or if you feel unsafe, that can really meaningfully change your experience of being a consumer. So when you say the words digital finance, the first two things that probably come to mind are cryptocurrencies and central bank digital currencies. But my reporting kind of suggested that it was actually the traditional financial system, banks and fintech companies adopting new technologies and getting better, that are actually coming out on top. And the reason why are pretty interesting. So, cryptocurrencies on one hand are all about evading government interference, right? You want a system that's fully decentralized. On the other hand, central bank digital currencies are the opposite. It's full state control over payments. And it turns out you don't really want either of those. You want some government involvement, so you can prevent crime, but you don't want too much because then the government gets too involved in the economy. But if you talk to people in the cryptocurrency industry or you talk to economists at central banks, a lot of them will actually admit this. They'll say things like, hey, a lot of the things that you want CBDCs to do, you can do in the traditional system. And the crypto people will kind of tell you, crypto is actually moving away from finance and towards other things like Web3 and changing the way the internet works. So the traditional financial system probably has the right balance. Something that really surprised me is that most payment systems around the world don't actually make that much money. The United States is an exception. Fees are pretty high. But elsewhere in the world, the big prize from owning the payment system is the ability to get data. And data gets you a few things. If you're a business, you get to see the cash flows of businesses, of consumers. You get to know whether they're making their payments on time, what they're buying. And that can be really helpful because then you can offer them loans and credit, even if they don't necessarily have assets that they can post as collateral. So it's a really big change for emerging economies because with digital finance, then you can basically access something that previously only richer countries had access to. And another big change, of course, is for governments because when all your payments are digital, then economic activity can be tracked more easily and you can do things like stamp out crime, prevent money laundering, and so forth. So there's a big incentive both for businesses and governments to digitize the payment system.